Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. We have a really fun show for you tonight. We've got two guests, two young men that my boys grew up playing basketball with, but they have gotten into a field that did not exist as a place to work when I was growing up. I might have gone into it if I was any good at it. Don't know that I would have been. We're going to talk about that. It's a really neat thing, so you guys are going to enjoy tonight's show. Before we do that, though, let's make some money so we can keep doing the show. Yeah. All right, Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine, their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a new car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard Ford is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949 in St. Johns County, and Bozard Ford Lincoln has won numerous dealer awards, including being ranked the #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. They also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor Ford Motor Company gives to its dealers. So check them out today online at bozardford.com or go out and check out the stock they have with Bo and Letty, and then stop by Ford's Garage and pick up one of the Jiffy Burgers, which is the 904 now famous burger. Allegedly.
The team at South State Bank is a group of bankers you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is the best in the business. If you are looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations to serve you in St. Augustine, State Road 312, State Road 16, or the beach. You can also visit them online, southstatebank.com. They are a member FDIC. Now, if you don't have dinner plans yet, join the Tringali family for dinner. You've got 2 options. Carmelo's Pizzeria, they were voted best pizza 9 years running, New York style brick oven pizza. They also have salads, subs, wings, and more. Or 123 Burger House. They are best burger 3 years running, chicken, wings, salads, authentic wood-fired pizza, and ice cream for dessert. Both restaurants offer dine-in, take-out, or delivery through Bite Squad and Grubhub. The Tringali family and all their staff would love to share dinner with you tonight.
Bobby said to check your mic.
I will.
So check your mic.
Yes, sir.
Land Title of America, whether you realize it or not, when you refinance a sale or purchase of a home, there is a title company involved. Don't get stuck with some out-of-town title company who doesn't give a crap when you're faced with challenges. Stay local and choose Land Title of America. Just call or text Stephen Collins, 904-501-4481. He specializes in all types of real estate transactions. Land Title, your local title company, ensuring America's land one title at a time because
they give a crap.
That worked for that. The mic was on there.
It was.
Right. And before we introduce our guest, Jackie Hurd, we talked about this yesterday. Her calendar tells us that today is West King Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
So listen to us on the way over to West King Wednesday and then go have a ball and a blast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about this because about 6 months ago, I was talking to my boys like, Dad, you got to get this guest on. So Evan Moore, I grew up coaching against you, watching you play basketball. And now everyone in the world is watching you play video games.
That's right. That's right.
And you have been doing this for what, 5 years now? 6 years?
I mean, I've been doing the streaming thing for about 5 or 6 years now.
Okay.
But I've been playing video games my whole life, ever since I was like 9, 8 years old. Yep. So.
And you brought your older brother, Levi, with you. Levi, well, I did that right as Amanda had to. But Levi, welcome as well.
Yes, thank you for having us.
And did you teach him everything he needed to know, or did you crush him when he was a little kid in video games that made him better?
See, so I started off crushing him because I had to build his grit up. And then he gradually took over and my friends stopped playing with me and started playing with him. So I got the short end of the stick here.
And I'm just jealous because of the video games that you guys grew up on. I mean, when we grew up, we had Pong. I don't know if you've ever seen Pong.
I played Pong, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was what we had. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have Pong. And then they came up with several kind of crazy games. Indiana Jones was like the
video
coolest.
game?
It was a video game, but the guy was about this big, and he kind of hopped along. And I mean, there wasn't anything exciting about it, except you went through a lot of stuff. And then Zelda comes out. So I'm in college when Legends of Zelda hits. And my brother Rhett is 12 years younger, so he's all into playing Zelda. He brings the entire video game console to college. He's there for his spring break week. So a bunch of my fraternity brothers, my roommate being one of them, we can beat this. We're smarter than this. We've got this. They started playing Sunday night when I brought him in. He's like, Rhett's like, hey, I can teach you I know how to get through the first 8 levels, 9 levels and help it. No, we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out. Monday, they started about 2:00 in the afternoon. Tuesday, they decide they're running out of time. They're going to have to skip classes. So they skip classes Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. They're barely sleeping trying to beat this game in a week. Finally, at about 9:00 Thursday, in desperation, because we're leaving to go home on Friday. Okay, you got to tell us how to beat this kid. And I'm like, I get woken up about 4 times because they get to the final battle with the dragon and they lose. And they're yelling and screaming. I'm like, guys, it's 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, it's 3 a.m.
I've been there plenty of times, trust me. Yeah, I've been there.
And then we took Darcy, my wife was teaching, she was an intern her senior year of college, teaching school. So we go in a class and all the kids are like, oh, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. What do you do in St. Augustine? Oh, I play The Legend of Zelda. Have you been to level 7? How did you beat this? I mean, the whole class just turns because of this video game. But it was just, so you guys grew up on the really cool games.
Yeah.
Your mom told you quit playing video games.
Yeah, probably more him told him to quit more than me. He was like the test dummy almost. He was the trial kid.
Again, I got the short end of the stick again.
But no, yeah, she definitely did tell me to stop playing video games all the time. But, you know, I mean, I love doing it, so.
Well, and it was, you guys were both phenomenal athletes. Both of you were great basketball players. I mean, you really, really were, and it was fun to watch you. Your mom and dad were great people in the gym to talk to all the time. And so I know they got to be really proud because whenever you go to your mom and dad and you go, hey, I'm not going to go to college.
Yeah.
Did you like dread that conversation?
I was very nervous. I didn't know when or what the right time would be to do that, but I knew I wanted to like not play basketball and then go into like the whole video game scene. But no, it's just one day hit me. I was just like, okay, I'm going to sit my dad down. My mom was at work. I was like, all right, here we go. Ended up just telling him, I was like, I don't want to play basketball. I want to try this video game thing. And, you know, he was very understanding about it. My mom took it very hard. It was very rough for her.
You show that you are wiser than your age because you went to your dad first. I mean, those kind of things. As a dude, you always go to dad first, right? Always go to dad.
I had to go to my pops first, for sure. But I sat him down. I was just like, listen, I can make money doing this thing. I was like, just give me a month. And I was going to community college at the time. I was like, just give me a month to show you that I can actually make money doing this full time. He was like, okay, we'll give you a month. And I'm doing that. And then here we are.
Were you at the beginning of the money-making stage of it? I mean, my guess is there's a lot more money to be made in it now than there was back then.
I wasn't at the very beginning. I would say I was before a lot of the people that are in it now, though, for sure. But in the beginning, like the very beginning, no, because there was people that I was watching before who I saw making the money first. And then that's how I knew. I was like, okay, I can really do this. It's not that, it doesn't look that hard to me. Like, I'm good at the video game, and all I have to do is just stream, and people will watch. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
And that is absolutely amazing to me.
Yeah.
Because I never got and picked that up. So I think that is absolutely wonderful. Who was the first guy that you saw making money? And were you paying somebody to watch them play?
So the first person was actually a local. You might know him, Eric Schroeder.
Yes, I know.
Merc
the
Music.
Schroeder boys,
Yeah. So he was doing it, and I was actually helping him. Like, he was doing YouTube mainly. He wasn't doing the live streaming. But he was like posting videos and stuff, and I would help him do those videos, but I wasn't making any money on him. I was just like helping him just because I was having fun.
Yes.
But he was the first person that told me, he was like, dude, you should start doing like the live streaming stuff. You could actually like make money just off people watching you from like ads, whatever it might be, subscribers. And then, I just started doing it. Now,
how did Levi get involved?
So he was doing a moving company. He was working for a moving company. For what, 7, 8 years?
And you didn't want to do that for the rest of your life.
I had been working and moving for 5.5 years, and my back should not be shot at 25. I can tell you that. So no, I didn't want to keep doing that.
You were tired of people telling you this dresser isn't really that heavy.
Yeah, or move it 3 inches. No, move it back. No, move it back. Center it under the picture. Yeah, it was tedious.
Yeah, but I knew he had the business degree in college. You know, he went to college, got his business degree and stuff. And I was like, I don't really know much about like talking to brands and stuff like that. So I was like, I was making a decent amount of money at the time, and I just asked him, I was like, hey, would you want to be like my business manager? And he was like, hell yeah, I want to be your business manager. So that's how that became.
Did you quit your job before you said heck yes, or did you say heck yes and then quit your job?
I said heck yes, and then I quit my job. I kind of slowly just trickled out of my job because I was in a management role and I had equity in the company. So I sold my equity back to the owner, and it gave me a little bit of runway. Yeah. And I used that runway to kind of pour into Evans Gaming.
first, I think it's great that you guys grew up together playing one sport, switch over to this thing, but end up together, working together. And I think that's just really a neat kind of family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool just to be able to have my older brother, like, who else am I going to trust with the name, you know what I mean? So it's nice to have him on the team for sure.
Yeah, if you mess this up, there's no more family reunion. We'll see. We'll just say it's the last family reunion you're ever going to. That everyone's there.
Touche. Well, the thing is there's like horror stories in our industry where these business managers come in and they milk these gamers, these young kids that don't know anything about business. They don't know how to read contracts. They don't know that they're getting screwed over on the financial side of things. And so for me to come in and just say, hey, Evan, focus on just being the best you can at the game and I'll handle all the other, BS. That is what our dynamic was. And that's how it worked.
Well, I think you're really lucky because it doesn't matter what industry it is, whether it's sports or it's the music industry or it's the, acting in Hollywood. There's so many people that get in there and go, oh, this person's going places. My whole goal in life is to take all of their money before they realize I'm taking all of their money.
Right.
100%.
And you only have, in a lot of those, especially sports, you got a small window.
Yeah.
To be able to make money, bank money. And that just, those guys don't have enough, they don't get a second chance, right? There's no running backs that are 35 years old that are still playing sports.
Right.
No, not at all.
They're done. So, yeah.
I'm old, so I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and so I remember when we first got our Atari.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was little and I didn't know what to do with it, and I don't even think my dad let me play with it when it was turned on, but it just had like a spinny ball, and so I would just mess with the spinny ball. We still have an original Nintendo at my house. It doesn't work. The pins need to be repaired, I guess. My husband said
Right on,
something.
though, yeah.
But we were so excited when we got it because we want to play duck hunt with the kids. Modern TVs, you can't play duck hunt.
Really?
You can't. You need a tube TV. It somehow it
why is
bounces
that?
off the glass, I think.
Oh,
and that's
interesting.
how it receives the signal.
Yeah.
And so you can't play it with a flat screen. So we kept a tube TV for years until the Nintendo.
Nice.
Until the Nintendo went toast, just so we can play Duck Hunt.
I love
But
it.
That's my video game history. Now I'm more of a Homescapes kind of girl.
On your phone? No Candy
Just
Crush?
Homescapes on my phone.
Nice.
So I should have brought it down and seen how good you were, but I have the original Mattel basketball.
Really?
I have the original Mattel basketball and the Mattel football from when, like 1978, 79.
Holy
When I
cow.
was in middle school.
You should hold on to that.
And I have that. I mean, I have it. It still works. Just every once in a while, I'll put a battery in it and fire it up just to see if I can still, hit the three. So it was actually, it is so funny playing that game. But we were like the coolest kids in the world because you had this little handheld game that you could take into school.
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
You're like, oh my, this is awesome. But so, what game that really got you started? What game were you like as a kid? That you're like, I really enjoy this, and then you kind of migrated through the different.
Yes, so early on, it was always Call of Duty. Like my first game, so he got an Xbox 360 for Christmas one year. I was like 9 or 10 years old, but they got it for him. They didn't know I was gonna be like playing on it or whatever.
Yep.
But I would always come home from school and I would just hop on the game. We always had Call of Duty and Halo 3. Those were the two games that we always played. Those were like first-person shooters or whatever. And I was really, really good at Call of Duty. I wasn't at first, but I would always just come home from school and I would always play.
Did he ever make you cry? Did he ever beat you so bad that yes?
Yes. Never from beating me bad, but he made me cry because he'd make me get off the game, and I would I'd go cry to mom, and I'd be like, "Mom, he's taking it from me." He's like, "No, that's his, not yours, technically." So, but I was really, really good after around like 12 or 13, and. Yeah, I mean, I would just always come home from school. Instead of going to play basketball like I should have at the time, I would always just hop on the game and start playing with my friends.
Yep.
So it just one thing led to another. And I just, like when you put the time in like that, as a coach, you always told us, for basketball at least.
It's all about the amount of work ethic in doing it.
Yeah.
It's just, for me as a parent, right? So I'm in that generational parents, like your parents. It's like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. And then, Reese and Ethan are telling me, how well Schroeder's doing.
Yeah.
And how well you're doing. And I'm like, man, we're the worst parents ever. We should have so told you to keep playing. I mean, it's such a different kind of switch. And it's all happened in about 10 years.
Yeah, it's happened quick. It's happened quick for sure. I would say during the epidemic, that what really spiked the whole gaming world. And that's what really shot it up. just because no one had anything else to do.
Yeah.
Right. All the sports were done. Like everyone was just at home, working from home. So
You guys were too young to drink. Those of us that were older, we just drank.
that's true. That's true. I was too young to drink.
Yeah, you were just too young. You would never do that.
That is true.
Your parents are watching, so definitely never did that.
Oh, yeah.
No, I do think that did because everyone was home.
100%.
But it allowed you connectivity because all of a sudden gaming wasn't just you playing against a game. It was you playing against a whole bunch of other people that were online.
Right. I think the biggest thing too was since all these athletes and people like that couldn't play their sport, they were on social media saying like, oh, well, we're playing this game, we're watching this person on Twitch, all this, and that really, really helped like that side of the world hop into gaming side. You know what I mean? Instead of like
And is Twitch the platform?
yeah, Twitch is probably the main platform. There's a couple other platforms now, like you got YouTube, Facebook, and then there's a new platform called Kick, who a lot of people are streaming on now, which is more of like a free speech like platform.
Same with Rumble.
Yeah,
Rumble's a
Rumble,
free
that one,
speech platform as well.
Even TikTok now, people are streaming on TikTok. It's crazy.
Instagram, all the short form content platforms all have live streaming now as well.
Yep.
So, it's the healthy competition has only made the market grow. So
Yeah, for gaming though, I would say it's probably Twitch. The main platform is Twitch.
So what was the first deal you were able to get for Evan?
So the first deal that I got for Evan was the Scuff deal, which is a controller. A controller company, which the company's called Scuff. They're probably the prominent controller company in the industry. They reached out after Evan was winning all these tournaments and he was kind of on his come up stage. And they reached out and were like, hey, we want to do a deal with your brother. And at that time, I had never looked at a gaming contract. I'd never seen anything. So I got help from a friend of ours that was a lawyer, and we looked over it, and we got him a Scuff deal, and he's still with them till this day. So
yeah, that's like my longest deal too, for sure.
By far.
Yeah. That's definitely like a deal I needed too, obviously, because I play video games. So it was a nice deal to secure for sure.
Yeah, no, I think those are. Anytime you get a deal for anything, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes, I've been surfing for years. Tory Strange has never sponsored me. I paid full price for that surfboard at the surf station.
Maybe one day. Mikey,
I know, maybe
Mikey
one
still
day.
got time left.
I keep working at this. Eventually, there's going to be an 80-year-old bracket, and there won't be any 80-year-olds left surfing, and then they'll sponsor.
I can see it happening.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang in there. I'm just hanging until
Play
the
the
bitter
long
end.
game.
Yes, and it's funny because growing up with the kids. And I don't know if your dad ever played video games with you guys.
Oh, he did.
But we
NASCAR.
Yeah.
NASCAR was his game.
NASCAR and NCAA, yeah.
Yeah, those were his games.
well the football that would always come whether it was Madden or NCAA.
Yeah.
When it first came out and the kids were younger and they were trying to learn it, I just had one play. Right, I would just run the bomb all the time. I see only I that was it. And they're like, Dad, you don't run any other plays. I'm like, no, because you guys can't stop this. And then once they stopped the bomb, I just quit playing because then I was toast. Right, they had me.
You're right.
The other one was Tiger Woods.
Oh, he was playing Tiger Woods
I
too.
love Tiger Woods.
So when Tiger Woods came out, I had been watching these courses for forever. So like if he was playing the TPC, I knew I'd played the TPC. I'd watched the TPC. I knew where the what kind of breaks were and stuff.
Were the games pretty accurate when it came to the courses?
They were. The Masters especially.
Really?
When they did yes. So once they figured out how to hit the ball longer and how to chip and putt and all that stuff, I was done. But the initial kind of 2 weeks while they were learning, I was very competitive with them because I just had the advantage of the course. And you're like,
right.
You hit the ball here. If you putt this way, it's going to break. And it just took that because you didn't have all of those break reads that you have now. But yeah, it was really kind of fun then. And then I was like, no, I'm out, guys. You go.
Yeah, the new PGA game is wildly accurate.
Is it?
The players on the tour say they play it to actually learn the slope and undulations in the greens.
wild, yeah.
So it's wild how accurate the games have become, especially now with CGI and AI being implemented. It's wild how realistic the games are.
Well, I would say if in construction, we have people that will come in and model. We're doing work at Flagler College, and they came in and modeled the Flagler room.
Right.
When you look at that, it's unbelievable the amount of information that's there. So when I can't imagine what they're doing a video game and for the PGA, modeling a green.
Right.
Right. How accurate you can make
Right.
that now compared to in the past. Like, yeah, we'll just put a hill here and put
Right.
this here, and this will go fast, and that'll go. It's just, I would have to think all of that stuff is just so much more true to.
Yeah.
I think one of the craziest thing was during the pandemic. I know NASCAR did like races virtually, so they
Yes.
so I know because one of the racers actually signed with the team that I'm signed under, and our team had to go like help him like set up a whole setup for his races. It's crazy. They're like sitting in like a caged off thing.
Yes.
They got their steering wheel. And
The
they got the gas
simulators.
pedal. Yeah, it's crazy. It was so intricate. It was like I was like, this is so real.
There was a movie that just came out on Netflix called Gran Turismo about
Yes.
the game.
Okay.
And it's actually based on a true story where I want to say it was Honda. It might be. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. It's either Honda or Toyota. But for their racing team, they recruited gamers, the best Gran Turismo sim drivers in the world, and they actually took a sim driver who won a contest, put him in a real Formula One car, and they podiumed at Le Mans. So, or Le Mans, or however you pronounce it. But yeah, it's
It's
wild.
French. We don't speak that.
Yeah,
language.
we don't. You're right.
We're just good. We speak Southern here.
But it's a really good movie. You should watch it. It's a true story.
Yes.
So, and it just goes to show that, like, you know, our parents told us to get off the game, but there is real life utility in some of it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I tell you, that was the only game I was ever good at. If you ever played the original pole position, it just around a track. If you made it in a certain amount of time, you got to go again. If you made it another time, you got to go again. So all of my friends and I, we were all learning how to drive. So we're all 15 and 16-year-olds, and here's this race car game, and we're like, hey, there's a brake and a gas pedal. I dare you to floor it, put it in second gear, and never take your foot off the gas. And, go around. And the course is designed that you're not supposed to be able to do that. There's a hairpin turn in the middle of it. Literally, we all of us learned how to do it. You would go into the hairpin turn, you would take the steering like this and throw it as hard as you could, and then one hand grab it as it came out of the and you're like, and once you learn to do that, you can almost always get the extra time.
That's
but it was
awesome.
just we're like, you can't take your foot off the gas.
You're
right.
Like, this is how we're driving home. You're not allowed to take your foot off the gas. So no, it was just really, it was kind of one of those fun things. But no, that was really, really good. Favorite, so Call of Duty, and then you jumped to, what game did you jump to
I
next?
did switch to Fortnite for a little bit just because Fortnite was like a poppin' game at the time. It like really blew up. And I had a little bit of success in that right off the get-go where we did like these, it's called kill races. And it was just online tournaments where it's a 2v2 and you just have to outkill the other team in like a random like public lobby or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was really, really good. I mean, I was winning probably 8 tournaments a week, right? But that went on for about 5 or 6 months. And that's when I moved out of my parents' house and I moved in with him. And that's when we started living together.
They were slowing down your training.
Yeah, right?
Hey, man, I'm coming over.
That's one thing I do regret. I wish I stayed at my parents' house until they kicked me out. But no, that's why I moved out to live with him. And then played Fortnite for about a whole year, I would say. And then I heard that Call of Duty was dropping a Battle Royale map, which is where the same thing as Fortnite, where they drop into a 150-person map and then whatever, right? Last person survive wins.
Yes.
And I saw what happened with some of the creators that blew up in Fortnite, and I was like, I can do this for Call of Duty because I like been playing Call of Duty my whole life. So I took the risks from switching from Fortnite to Call of Duty, which my viewership ended up dropping a little bit, but in the long run it paid off because we had one of the bigger streamers had like a community tournament style based thing.
Yep.
And it was a big tournament. It was like, I think the winner got like 40 grand or 50 grand or something like that. And I ended up winning them back to back, and that's kind of like where I got my blow up from. So it was
So
cool.
how many viewers do you typically have?
Right now,
Yeah.
I average anywhere between 100 to 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's every day.
Do you know any of them? Do you have like conversations
Yeah,
with them?
so when we go to like some of these events and stuff, I like meet them, but they expect me to know what they look like when I meet them, and I don't know what they look like, obviously, because they have a screen name, so they're like, oh, you don't know me? And I'm like, oh, say your name, and I'll understand. But yeah, I know some of them now. I made relationships with people who like watch me on a daily basis. It's cool, man. I never in a million years thought I'd be able to connect with someone just from them watching my stream, from people who are from Alaska or freaking, Minnesota, just all over the place. It's
So,
crazy.
so to give the audience that's not familiar with the streaming world kind of like the layout, Evan live streams his gameplay. He has a face cam in the corner, And then there's a chat where everyone that's watching him can communicate. They've got channel points. You can use emotes, they're like little emojis. You can do all this stuff. And everyone's talking to each other. The sponsorship stuff's going in there as well. And that's where the community is built, is in that chat.
Yep.
So that's how, while Evan's talking, he can respond to questions in the chat while he's gaming. Obviously, when he's playing competitively, it's hard to look at it, but in between games and stuff is where all the interaction happens. And you basically are building rapport with these people. So that's kind of the layout of what it looks like.
And these people are making like relationships with other people that are in the chat as well. Like
That's the cool
becoming, like,
part.
friends and stuff, which is like insane. That's just awesome to me.
That is the 904 Now world. There is an entire group. Amanda, tell them about the 904 kids.
So they announced an extra long Christmas break, and the major fans, they call them the 904 cool kids. They were just not having the 904 Now interaction 3 times a day, 2 times a day, however long they're in. And so they created their own Facebook group over Christmas.
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
And they would recreate, they would do the reads. They would put in the reads, now is the time when we do this.
That's cool,
Now is
though.
the time for the weather.
That's cool.
And so there is a lot of community. So I really relate to what you're saying, because I got into this kind of as a gag during COVID. I just happened to be the only one that knew how to work the live stream equipment on staff at our church. So suddenly everything had to go through me because COVID shut down during Lent and Holy Week. And so a lot of stuff needed to go out of the church and nobody knew how to do it but me. And so it was trial by fire, and then got brought into this a year or 2 later. And I've been here. He wanted me on camera, so that's why I'm in front of the camera instead of in there. So it just all kind of happened by accident, but building the friendships with the people in the chat, while you guys are talking, I'm interacting with them. And now I see these people out in the world, and it's hugs, and we share meals, and it's fun.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
It is a really cool new way to
we
build
do
community.
get their real names, right? So you don't get any of that. We get real names, which is such a huge advantage.
Do we believe that's actually Bobby? Bobby, what's your real name?
I've met Bobby. That is Bobby. I know Bobby. Barbara Jean, I know you have met personally.
Yes,
so
I have.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question for you. So again, I'm old. So I remember when you buy the game and you have the cassette, and then it moved to the disc, and now it's all online. You log into your account, and I know there's some backlash about updates and not being able to play because something is updating when you have your game time, and that's the whole thing. So I just wanted to know how you feel about the online subscription model versus the physical media model of yesteryear.
I mean, I don't really necessarily mind the online subscription model. I never really had problems with updates or anything like that. I know some people do or whatever. I don't know though. I don't really have an answer on that. I think it's fine the way it is now. I actually prefer it the way it is now, just because I don't have to go to the store to get a
disc.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice just to be I type it on Google, whatever certain blah blah blah, download, boom, and it's done. So it's it's nice. I don't know.
All right.
So do you live somewhere that has a super fast internet speed?
I do.
Is that super critical?
Yes. If you I would say if you're playing competitively and you want to play tournaments and stuff, I would say it's definitely critical. But if you're just doing it for content purposes and you're just having fun with it, I wouldn't say it's critical.
We had an issue with that actually, that we
it forced us to move actually.
Yeah, we lived in a place where Comcast was providing the internet, and this is not a shot at Comcast, but they swore that we were getting T1 internet, which is top
fastest you could
terabyte,
get, yes.
right? Terabyte internet. And I'm running test on the game, and I'm we're not getting T1, and we're paying for T1. So they sent out probably 4 or 5 different technicians, and Evan was still lagging out of games. He couldn't live stream. This went on for about a month, and we were forced to move. We had to get out of our lease. We had to move to a new location and get AT&T fiber because Comcast was claiming that this was happening when it really wasn't. And come to find out, there's a whole back end on how this works, but they run it to their Comcast box. It's close by, and then that splits off to different addresses. So you're really sharing it with the other homes, and it's this whole thing. So now we run fiber direct into the house.
So we had that at home where the boys would be playing, not competitively. They would come to me and go, I got killed because of the internet again. I got killed because of the internet.
That's a real thing.
It skipped, and all of a sudden I was dead. Dad, when are we getting new internet? I mean, I got when they left home, Darcy and I looked at each other and said, we can yank that out, right? We don't have to have that. We can just do without it. It's like, I'm so tired of hearing the internet is slow, because they would come back from college or wherever, where everything's high speed, and like, why does it take? I feel like we have dial-up again.
Yeah. Well, now you need it with the streaming services. Now everyone, everyone has streaming services, so you need the fast internet, and it's readily affordable now too as well. Yeah. I think our AT&T is like $65 a month or something like that. So
basically, to be a good gamer, you're never moving to the middle of Wyoming.
Correct.
No, you're not. And competitive gamers move to internet hotspots because they're playing for $50,000-$60,000, and this has happened on these online tournaments where in the last game they're in a pivotal game where they could make or break them for $40,000 and they lag out of the game. Well, they're not going to restart a lobby of 150 players for one guy. Yeah. And we know several people who this has happened to. It actually happened to Evan in a big tournament where his teammate lagged out. And they had to play 2 full games with 2 players instead of 3. And they ended up winning one of them and finished second in the other one.
Nice.
So
it's crazy.
Addition by subtraction?
Yeah.
Addition by subtraction, yeah.
Do you look at the other guy and go, yeah, we never really know. You know, I mean, as a friend, you're giving him heck, right? I mean, so he feels horrible, but you're like, oh, I'm never going to let him forget this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I had a hard time finding you because I've always known you as Evan Moore. And then I asked Ethan, who's roughly your age. I think Ethan's maybe a year older.
He's a year older than me, yeah.
And I said, Ethan, come here. And he said, what do you need, Dad? And he didn't know how to find Evan Moore online. Why do you need to know that? He's coming on the show today. Oh, okay. Look up Super Evan. I'm like, okay, I got it. And then you were right there. I was like, all of a sudden I had all these feeds. I was like, this is super cool.
Yeah, I'm not known as Evan Moore around the world. I'm known as Super Evan.
Super Evan. Who came up with Super Evan?
So I did. I came up with it. I'm a big Marvel fan. I love Marvel. I like superheroes. Some people would say like, oh, Superman, but no, I'm not. I'm mainly like Spider-Man, Iron Man, stuff like that. But I just thought Super Evan kind of rang off the tongue nice, so I was just like, let's just do Super Evan, and that's literally it. Yeah. So they're just a Marvel super fan.
Favorite Marvel? You said Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah, those are 2 favorites for sure.
See, I was a kid growing up. I told you I was a big. Straight-laced. Captain America was it. But I got to tell you, I think my favorite Marvel is Deadpool.
Deadpool?
Right? Yeah,
Deadpool's great. I love Deadpool.
Older, it's like, those are all the things I want to say. Right?
Yeah.
Those are all the things, I wouldn't say them because I'm Captain America, but those are the things I wish I could say.
No, Deadpool's funny. I like Deadpool too.
I'm really looking forward to the one that opens, I think it's end of July or something. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, they couldn't have picked a better person to cast for Deadpool either. It's perfect.
For me right now, Marvel movies have like died down for me right now.
They have.
Happened.
I mean, after Endgame and all of that, I kind of noped out. I'm like, I spent so many years going to these movies.
I think that's most people though.
Yeah, but I'm still good with Deadpool. We still watch that. But Ryan Reynolds lobbied for that for years.
Yeah.
He actively sought it out, and all of the studios refused. And so he ended up like funding his own test screen, like writing it, costumes, the whole deal, and put it on the internet, and people made a campaign to get him to be Deadpool.
Wow, I didn't know that backstory. That's really cool.
They absolutely were like, no, this is family friendly. We're not doing Deadpool. You're crazy. And yeah, it worked out.
I think this one came out as the first R-rated Disney movie ever.
Really?
Right, because it's under the Disney umbrella. Because they bought
Marvel, right?
They bought Marvel out, so it's all under that, and it's just really.
Well, that explains why they stink now. Just saying.
Well, they did kill Star Wars too, right?
They've killed a lot.
They've killed a lot of stuff.
Well, so when they came out with
starting
Disney
with
Plus,
Bambi's dad.
When they came out with Disney Plus, I mentioned this, so our viewers in the comments are going to remember. Like Splash was on that movie or on that service, and everybody's like, "How are you going to do Splash? Like, there's bare butts in Splash." And so they poorly CGI'd Daryl Hannah's hair over her butt. Like they just copied and pasted it. And this really weird pattern. So whenever she's running and her butt's bare, she has this like floating hair carpet, like CGI, where her butt should be. It's so weird. You have to look it up. It's hilarious.
Yeah, we canceled our Disney Plus subscription this year.
Yeah.
No, I think you
and lots of
Yes, there's a lot of that going on. There's 100%. So what is the gaming? I mean, when you get together with everybody, I mean, is there a lot of camaraderie there? I mean, you compete against these guys gaming-wise. You're competing for money. Most of it's remote. So when you run into these other gamers that you're competing against, what's that like?
most of the people in the industry are like buddy. Like everyone's pretty much friends with each other. There are the far few in between that have the beef with each other, that don't like each other, like actually.
Yes.
But no, it's pretty chill and relaxed. It's like just people hanging out, you know what I mean? It's just, it seems like so normal when you go and meet them in person. It's just like, oh, like I've known this guy for 5 years now, you know what I mean?
You met somebody in there, and you had this mental image of what they would look like.
Yeah.
Then you walk in and go, I didn't see that.
Yeah, 100%.
I didn't see
Every
that.
single time, every time.
It's funny because Evan is not the average human size. He's 6'5",
Yes.
230.
Yep.
And so a lot of the gamers are they're not athletes, right? They're little tiny computer guys.
Yes.
And we go to these events and they're like, out of 90% of people's mouths, oh my gosh, I never knew you were so big, Evan. And he's like, yeah, I told you guys I'm actually 6'5". Like I wasn't joking around online.
Not catfishing.
Yeah, no, not at all.
What was it? It's not a MySpace profile, right? Or whatever the heck that was. So, and that's kind of funny because you just look at him and you go, I'm Super Evan. I told you I was Super Evan, and I'm Super Evan.
I told you I look like a superhero.
Yes.
Legit. And I've got some of the streams here. Super Evan on Twitch.
Yep.
So this is one of your highlight videos.
Oh boy.
So just so they can see, I made sure it was one of them where
Can
you're
we
wearing
see
a
it?
shirt. It's up there.
perfect. Oh, I didn't even know we had a screen.
I'm like
Yeah.
flying in
Beautiful.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Is this off of?
This is off your Twitch page.
Oh, okay.
So I just pulled one where you're wearing a shirt.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's stream shirtless quite
I
often
didn't want
now.
to give the ladies a heart attack. But
He started-
Super Evan on Twitch, ladies.
He started streaming shirtless because people started requesting it. I don't know if he's got people that like OnlyFans in there or what, but I'm like,
By the way, that's a whole different ball game.
different
Yeah, that's a
world.
whole different ball game.
Yeah. Do the streaming, don't sell.
Yeah, no,
hey, feet pics are okay.
Stay in that.
Don't plan on doing that.
Don't do that. I don't want your mom to beat you up at this age. You might be taller than her, but you're going to lose that.
You're telling me you're not going to play Call of Duty from a hot tub in your living room?
Yeah, exactly.
There are some that do that. There are.
Particularly females who badly play video games
Correct.
in
Right.
bikinis
Right.
in inflatable pools. It's a whole thing.
You would be shocked how much money they make on a monthly basis.
I believe it.
And I just found out like 2 weeks ago, right? Somehow that came into one of my feeds or something. And I'm like, you can get paid to do that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't have to be good at something? Well, never mind. I mean, yeah, okay.
So Josh has a question for you. He wants me to ask about an addicting gambling problem.
Josh,
I have a different game?
who's
Josh
Josh?
Josh Eric, you guys know
Oh,
Josh.
I know Josh.
Oh, I know
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not addicted. I do love the sports gamble though.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
got
he
a
was
bunch
talking about Levi's problem.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Josh, let's talk about your problem.
Like, I don't need to know this. I see his wife at the diner on Saturday and Sunday mornings, and I don't need Maddie asking me what the problem was on the internet.
No, we don't have a problem, but we take advantage of the situation. So sports gambling is a big thing now,
Yes.
and it's legal in Florida. And we run a Discord where we teach people how to gamble responsibly. If they're going to do it anyways, you should be having a bankroll management. You should be DCAing. You should be doing a lot of things that are similar to investing when you sports gamble.
What is DCA?
Dollar cost average.
Okay.
So if I'm going to place a bet that has odds of plus 200, right?
Yeah.
I need to hit, statistically, I need to hit 4 out of every 10 to be positive.
Yeah.
And you can make a substantial amount of money if you do it correctly.
Yes.
But I don't condone gambling, guys. So
I mean, I am actually sponsored by a sports betting account called Prize Picks. It got banned here because it's not because Hard Rock, ever since Hard Rock came into play, they kind of took over everything. But it's like a fantasy app where you can still make plays on it or whatever.
Well, and I don't know anybody that is your age that isn't gambling on sports.
Oh, it's crazy.
no, our whole generation's doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I will be sitting there watching a game with the boys and their friends will come over, and it inevitably turns to, well, I've got this much money on this game. Or I've got this parlay, I've got that. And I'm like, well, okay, explain all that to me as a guy who doesn't gamble, right?
Well, right, it's an instant dopamine hit, right? It gets you more engaged in the game.
Yeah.
I watch sports. I think it's good for the actual outreach of the sport itself. I've never watched hockey before in my life because I'm from Florida. I've never really only seen snow like twice. So I've never watched hockey before. The second we were able to sports gamble on it, I'm putting money on the Lightning. I'm putting money on the Panthers, and I'm engaged in the game. Yeah. Now I know hockey. I enjoy it.
Well, and I think the other big buy into that changed really football, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was fantasy football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, every year the boys are like, Dad, are you getting in this year with us? I'm like, no, that's one more thing I have to do. No, I'm
For
not.
sure.
I got enough stuff. But I listen to them, and then there's entire channels that are just showing the stats.
Yep.
So that you know where your fantasy guy is. And it's just, I find it hilarious as we get on the end of the season that somebody wants to know if a 1-in-16 team is going to play their star player.
Right.
Because I need those points to get
Yeah.
I need those points.
So you're better than me. See, I get asked to join leagues, and I don't say no. I just say yeah, and then I just don't pay attention to the whole entire year, and I just lose money.
No, I can't. I just can't do that. You know, my generation, we earned our money $1 at a time, so you kind of spend it that way, right? You're like, I'm not going to gamble on this, but I have a lot of friends that are older that are my age that still are into all this sports betting because it is fun. I mean, if that's something you're doing for enjoyment, and like you say, you got to be responsible.
You have to be responsible.
You have to, because you can
not let your emotions get the best of you.
Yeah.
If your emotions get the best of you, you will end up like the people under the bridge in Vegas.
I watched somebody on a cruise one time early on, and they were gambling at the roulette table, and they had like $100 or $150 on the cruise, and I watched 20s going down. People had to pull them away from the table before they bet their last $20, and it's like day 2 of the cruise, and you're like,
Tell him your story, Evan. Tell him your story. Tell him your story.
Gracious.
It's a great story. Tell it.
All right, so I was doing like this online gambling thing here. I turned $500 into $18,000 live on stream.
Yes.
On stream. I lost it all in 30 minutes. I was playing roulette, and I was chasing a color, and I kept doubling down on the color because it hit red 14 times in a row. How can I predict that? I mean, come on, you know what I mean? So I got screwed on that big time.
He had other gamers that were watching his stream because he had probably 2,500 people in there watching him play. Yeah. And, you know, they're getting the rush of him gambling.
Well, I had a crazy run. I mean, I turned 500 into 18,000, so I had a crazy
So he had other
run.
people calling him saying, hey, you stop. And he's just like, phone on mute, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000.
Were you in the room with them?
No, I didn't know what was going on. I was
people calling you gotta get home.
No. I actually was in the living room, and I go, let me check his stream and see what he's doing. And I see that he's gambling, and I'm like, I'm watching it just deplete in literally like real time. And I run in there, I'm like, bro, you got to chill. He's like, leave me alone. So that was his one experience of
that experience I learned. It was a tough lesson to learn, right?
Yes.
But I've learned from that. I've learned from that now to where, you know, I've been to Vegas a couple times now where I can take a couple 5,000 and win 13. You know.
Oh, listen, I mom and dad had a friend, and I won't mention any names, but he big poker player. He was so big that the casinos would call him up. We'll fly you to the Bahamas. We'll fly you to New Jersey.
Oh,
We'll fly you out to Vegas, and we'll put you up just because you're going to bet so much money. And I'm sitting there going, you know, how much money, you know, he could win and lose, and this was 15, 20 years ago. Right. When this money was big money, $25, $50, $100,000 in a weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just like, no. And I'm like, well, you know, and I would go, we did business together, and I would go see his business, you know, go see him. I'm like, well, how'd you do last time you were gambling? Oh, I lost 15. Oh, I won 20. Oh, I lost 30.
So back and forth.
I mean, it's just but for
massive
him,
swings.
He had a certain amount of money that he was going to gamble, and he was fine. He made a lot of money in his business. He made a lot of money in investments in real estate. He was set, but that was the thing he enjoyed doing, and he knew what he was willing to go gamble, and he knew what he'd take with him when he went.
Yeah, here's what I say: if you're gonna go gamble, take a set amount that you're okay to lose, because more than likely you probably will lose. You know, it's not a winning field. You're going to lose probably, but put a set amount so you don't, you know, go.
So what I've heard is very interesting. When I heard this was that you have people that have a lot of money like that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them pay $50,000 for a club membership to a fancy club. Mm-hmm. So a lot of other people, instead of paying that club membership, they'll go spend $50,000 at the casino in Vegas, and they get treated to high roller suites, the best restaurants in the world, casino hosts, limousines. They get treated like a king and a queen. Yeah. That's like their club membership. Yep. That's the best way that I heard it described at that level. Now that's, you know, we're talking the 1% here, but
yeah, you're talking about setting a level, right? $20. I'm out of there pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean,
that's about it. You know,
I don't know if $20 is going to get you the high roller suite, but
no, it's not even going to get me in the parking lot. I can't even pay the valet with that.
Touche.
So I have a family member who's a retired pastor, and he just started getting invited down by other family members to go to gamble at little riverboat casinos, and he can't lose. He just doesn't lose. And so his wife just stands behind him and just keeps him at the tables and just keeps taking the money and putting it in her purse.
My girlfriend does that
doesn't
too.
lose.
Yeah.
If you're winning, you go ahead,
Right.
keep going.
You
Yeah.
said he's a pastor?
He's a retired pastor.
Are
and
you
so-
saying God is on his side?
Yeah, God's on his side.
He doesn't even care. Like it's not his thing.
Yeah.
He's just there to be with his family that invited him, and he always hits. And so then they started going because his wife would book it, and she just stands behind him and just collects the money and
Now,
puts it in the purse.
if you want to bring this completely home for me and me to feel good about this, you can tell me they're funding a new church, and then I'm going to be completely happy with the outcome of this.
Once it goes into her purse, I don't know what happens.
Oh my God!
She's not a big spender, so she's not like buying jewelry. I can tell you that, but it goes in that purse.
So a funny story that ties into the gaming and the gambling.
Yep.
So Evan played in a tournament, I think it was 2 years ago around Christmas time, and it was in Las Vegas, right? It was the first in-person Warzone tournament. So it was the first time they'd thrown an in-person tournament since the pandemic.
Right after COVID.
Yeah, since the pandemic had happened, and our parents flew out there. You know, it was, I think it was $50,000 to the winning team. So long story short, they end up finishing second.
Yep.
And, you know, they got a pretty decent chunk of change for finishing second. It's a really cool ending. So we go out that night, everyone from that was invited, all the gamers, everyone. And one of the gamers was the UFC fighter, Max Holloway, who's big into the gaming thing. So they had security out there for him. And the security guards are these two, 7 foot, 300-pound big guys, right?
You had him right. You need to take it.
So Max Holloway goes back to his room early and he's like, look, I got these guys for the night. Do you guys want them? And we were like, well, we don't need them. So we gave them to our parents. And our parents, so you picture this, if you could picture
Oh, I
Jerry and
can.
Elizabeth
I
walking
can.
through the casino
Yeah.
with security moving people out of the way while,
Looking at him like, who are
while they're
these
walking
people?
up to the tables to
Yeah.
gamble. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
so
that's
that's
too
a,
funny.
it's a funny story that I like to tell about.
If I was them, I would have enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, our mom loved it.
My mom made it all up.
Huge.
She wants them year round now, she said.
So, how many tournaments a year are you playing?
Dude, they pop up out of nowhere. So I would say anywhere between like 50 to 100.
Okay.
Somewhere around in between there.
So, on average, you're almost 2 tournaments a week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many hours do you practice?
We probably play around 6 to 8 hours a day.
Okay.
Yeah, anywhere between there.
And still all in Call of Duty format.
Yep, all in Call of Duty, yep.
How hard is it for somebody in gaming to switch to a different format?
What do you mean?
Well, so if you all of a sudden decide, I don't want to do Call of Duty, I'm going to go
wanna go play a different game.
I'm going to play a different game. How hard is that to do?
It depends on the game. I would say it's probably pretty hard. There's very few gamers who can like transition games like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like
Michael
2 or
Jordan
3.
couldn't play baseball. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jordan won the best baseball.
I wouldn't say like someone could go like play professional in this game and then go play professional on a different game. I don't
Yeah.
think that's how it would work. But people could like maybe be good at it, but not at the top level.
Well, but the other is you're making money at it,
Yeah.
right? It's silly. You're like, okay, I'm doing really well in this format. I'm going to change to a different one and start all over again.
Right.
With no guarantee.
There's some streamers though who have like a nice following, like a nice community. So whatever game they will play, they'll just follow them or watch them whatever time or whenever they're playing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there are streamers that are out there like that. But for me personally, I play just professional, like
Yep.
competitively. If I swapped games right now, my viewership would tank big time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people who are watching me are just Call of Duty fans.
They want to learn how you're playing and
Exactly.
how you're winning. What's Call of Duty's next game? You got any rumor
I don't
about
even
what
know.
they're
I think
calling-
it's a Black Ops. I think it's like Black Ops 5 or something
Yeah.
like that now. I have no idea though.
So
Like,
did that was Call of Duty the one that had the initial of one of the drops was you went into Cuba and you were supposed to kill Castro?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Call of Duty. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I
that was
have-
Black Ops 1, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I have a friend who had to leave Cuba because of Castro.
Really?
And, yes. And so when he found out that was the game, he kind of like got his son to teach him how to play it. And he was so excited because at the beginning, I guess you kill Castro. I'm not giving a game away. It's an old one. But you kill Castro only to find out it was a body double later.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
was so upset. He was like, I finally got a chance to do this.
Yeah.
And I was so upset.
That's
it wasn't.
funny.
The story mode in Call of Duty is a big part of the game.
I'm waiting on them to make a movie on. I'm surprised they haven't already.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie would be great. Honestly, we should do it. We should pitch it to someone. To be honest.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch any of the Halo series?
Oh, I didn't
haven't
watch
actually.
the Halo series, but we played the
It's
game.
It's a great story mode. Probably one of the greatest story modes of all time.
Well, and that's so the boys, I've talked to both of them because they all grew up playing Halo like you guys.
Yeah.
So it was like, I think it was probably one of the coolest storylines that came along early in that whole, okay, we're going to make this a long story. And like, I play the game, I can't go watch them destroy it. And I didn't play the game, and I can tell you they destroyed it, right?
Really?
I'll tell you afterwards some of the stuff they did.
Oh,
It's just
man.
like that just didn't need to be in there, right? All I needed was action and shooting, and they came up with these whole storylines that just went all over the place, and you're like, why?
Well, then I'm glad that Call of Duty hasn't made
No,
a movie.
trust me, the way Hollywood's going today, they'll ruin Call of
Yeah,
Duty
probably.
for you.
You're probably right.
We're better off not seeing
You're
it.
probably right.
It's like watching any of the last 3 Star Wars or Marvel after the end game.
That's true.
Right? It's
Yeah,
just
that's true,
it's
that's
not
true.
the same anymore. So how long? I mean, what's the oldest gamer that you kind of compete against?
That I compete against?
Yeah.
30, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's still the top of the like food chain right now. He's up there. But for like as like content creators, I think the oldest that I know of, I think he's 38.
Yeah.
And his name's Dr. Disrespect. If people will probably
Yeah, I
know
know
him,
who that is.
you know he is.
Yeah.
But this guy is funny, dude.
Yeah.
This guy is a character. He wears a wig.
Yes.
And he has like a fake mustache, and he wears sunglasses and a headset. He's funny, man.
Is he just ripping on you the whole time?
Yeah, he's so bad at the games, but he's just like a comedian. You know what I mean? He's just a comedian playing the game. So he's hilarious. So
If only I had a sense of humor. I'm bad at the games, but just had a sense of humor. I'd have a
You're
shot
halfway
at this.
there, Mike.
I know. I'm halfway through it. I'd have to have Troy do the audio for me because he actually has a sense of humor. So.
It looks like Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War is going to be the next one, and
Gulf
it's
War.
set to hit in late October, early November.
yeah,
So
that's
when
what I'm
a new game drops, how long does it take you to get? I mean, you got to practice at it and play it. How long does it usually take you?
Oh, it doesn't. One day. The day it drops out. Yeah, I mean, because they're all essentially the same game. It's just like different like guns and stuff like that. So it's all still like point and shoot. You know what I mean?
Favorite Call of Duty that you played?
Ooh, Black Ops 2.
Okay.
It's hands down.
Wrong.
This guy's gonna say like a Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
So
By
what was
far.
what's the storyline in Black Ops 2?
Black Ops 2 is the greatest Call of Duty storyline. It's you're just gotten Mason, but you get like brainwashed and they like wipe your memory and all you can see is like numbers and stuff. But
Yeah.
your whole entire like time you're trying to figure out why you see these numbers and all this. It's just like a whole like puzzle.
Is
But
it
it's good.
Is it your favorite for the storyline, or is it your favorite for the gameplay?
No, the gameplay for sure.
And you said Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare, that was just for my age. I mean, I'm 33, right? So
Yes.
for my age generation, Modern Warfare was the first Call of Duty that you could really play online with all your friends on Xbox 360, and it was like everyone was playing it. I mean, I think when I was in high school at the time, I was a senior, and I looked at my days played. I had over 100 days. And that's 24-hour days logged on the game. I was like 114 days logged on the game. So that's just, that's
Did your
nostalgia
mom and
for me.
dad know?
No, they knew I was playing, but I mean, there was nights where I was staying up till 3 or 4 a.m. with my friends playing.
So, not to rat anybody out, I will not use any names, but Reese has a buddy that he was playing Call of Duty with. And there was another friend in there with him. Well, all of a sudden, the friend has these little kids, and the little kids are getting up in the middle of the night after everyone's gone to bed, and they're firing up Call of Duty and playing in the group. And so one night somebody messaged him, hey, Levi, why are you still up? Don't you have work tomorrow? And the kids are like shutting the thing down. Right? The parents could not figure out why their kids were so worn out and tired. It's because they were getting up every night at like 11 and playing until 3 in the morning with all these other guys that are still up.
I'm definitely guilty of that for sure.
And these kids were under the age of 10. Right? I mean,
I was
they
that
had
young, yeah.
figured this out, and they're like, but finally somebody called the dad, like, I can't believe you're playing every night. And he's like, I'm not playing every night. Then they figured it out.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
There's a lot. I think there's a lot of that that's just kind of neat about that. I know sometimes dads and kids play together, right?
Yep,
And it just
yep.
gives them a chance to kind of do things. But I think this is really cool. When's your next tournament's coming up pretty quick?
Yeah, we have one next week on Tuesday.
And you still get to play all that from here.
Oh yeah.
So you don't
Yeah,
have the travel tournaments are just
Those are pretty rare. Our next travel tournament hasn't been dated yet. We don't know when it's going to be. It's supposed to be like the next World Series of Warzone, which is like the championship for the whole year. But it's more than likely. Last year was in London. That was cool. We did like a whole London trip and the whole Europe. Traveled for 2 weeks. It was cool. But we're expecting it to probably be in like LA or Vegas this year. So
how much money do you get for winning one of those tournaments?
It depends on the purse. It changes every year. Last year's was, I think, $1 million purse or $500,000 purse. I think the winner got like, it's a team of 3. So they split, I think 90 grand they split.
Yeah.
So it's like a golf purse, you know what I mean? So it trickles down all the way to like the bottom. I think if we just qualified, we made money, which I think we did. So
good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we got about 2 or 3 minutes left. Anything else that I didn't cover that you guys, and I really want you guys to come back and kind of keep us updated on where you're going. This has been a really fun hour of talking and catching up with you guys. And again, like I said, really enjoyed watching you guys.
So something we didn't cover yet is Evan's actually doing an event on Saturday here in town. His first event he's done in town ever. It's going to be at GNC at the Outlet Mall at 2 p.m. And he's going to have a gaming setup, and anyone can come out and play him 1v1. We're giving away free merchandise. We're promoting a new product that's going to be in GNC. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have pictures out there. We're going to be giving away products. We're going to be giving away gaming stuff, merchandise, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to come out and try your hand against Evan.
You can beat me.
Super Evan.
Against Super Evan.
Beat everyone else.
If you can beat Super Evan, good luck.
So what is the product you're giving away?
We are working with a company called Control, and CTRL is their logo, and it's health products. So Evan's one of the more fit gamers, and we like to promote the healthy lifestyle, especially if you're gaming for 8 hours and being sedentary. So we partner with this supplement company. They do meal replacement bars, they do protein, they do shakes, all kinds of stuff of this nature. And we're giving away some of their new product that's going to be in GNC.
Awesome.
They're releasing in all the GNC stores. So
cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do something local too, and this will be the first one I'm doing, so I'm excited for it.
So Josh, 2:00.
There you go, yeah.
Super Evan says he'll beat you in 30 seconds. So head on
Or
up.
if you want to play Levi, you can play Levi as well.
whoa. I think I'm busy that day.
Yeah. No, I think it's really great that there's this new industry you guys have captured. You've been on the forefront of it. I love the fact that you got your brother involved in managing you. The fact that your parents said, okay, we're going to give you a chance to do something that at the time, right, was kind of, your parents are they're very good. They were always with you guys in sports. I can't imagine them going, okay, did they tell you they were like awake for like 2 nights after you came up with this?
No, they didn't tell me that.
They were. I'm going to let you know they
probably
were.
were. I'm
They're
sure they were.
going, oh my God, what did we just let him do?
Oh yeah, what did we just do?
Yeah.
They're very reserved.
Yes.
And we actually this is the first time we've even said anything about this, but we've been documenting everything and interviewing our parents since this all began. And we're putting together a long form documentary movie.
Oh, that's cool.
We're about 8 episodes in, and it's been over the past 4 years that we've been filming this piece by piece. So that'll be coming out when the time is right.
So it's kind of like I look at them when your career is the same time as your dad was coaching you, right? So there was times in basketball where you took a really bad shot, and your coach be yelling, no, and it went in, and they're like, yes! Right?
That's like this. Yes, that's what this is. Yes.
Yes!
That's good.
That's exactly what it's like.
Tell your dad that. You get this is what
exactly
might say, yes.
That's good.
Tim Goss says that if you want to play Pac-Man, he'll whip your butt.
Pac-Man. Wow, what a
I'll take
game.
any game you want. Come on, bring it on.
Tim, I thought you were a lady Pac-Man. I'm just saying, Tim, but no. You listen. Have a great time this weekend. Let us know if you get a couple pictures. Text us. We'll put them up on the show on Monday.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'd love that.
We got a really
Thank
cool guest coming in on Monday. I can't say anything, but but send us that stuff. And if you have updates and things are going on, come back and see us again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you guys are a success story in this industry, which is a new industry, and you're local, and I think that's all awesome. So
yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
Thank you.
Man.
Yeah. And if you guys want to follow Evan on all his social medias, it's at Super Evan on pretty much everything. So you can find him on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, everything. X, actually. Sorry, not Twitter. X. But yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right, this is the Mike Davis Show. You've got tomorrow's show because I got business.
I do. You're with me tomorrow, guys, and the Blevins boys.
All right, we'll see you guys.